Hi everyone, and welcome to Take a Closer Look. My name is Rachel Halstag, and I am the Assistant Curator at the Flint Institute of Arts. Today, we'll be taking a closer look at one of the exhibitions currently on view at the FIA, titled Jan Matulka, The Unknown Modernist. This is actually an exhibition that I was able to curate in partial fulfillment of my master's degree in arts administration from the University of Michigan Flint and my job here at the FIA. The exhibition focuses on early modern artist Jan Matulka. Born in 1890 in southern Bohemia, he and his family immigrated to the United States in 1907 and settled in the Bronx. Shortly after he arrived, he was accepted into the National Academy of Design in New York City. The academy followed the accepted academic curriculum of the time, teaching students about the strict principles of subject, composition, technique, and focusing on the idealization of form. Although Matulka excelled at his classes, he, like many other artists at the time, yearned to break free from the constraints of academic art. This artwork from the exhibition is one of Matulka's earliest experiments with cubism. Using various shades of vibrant colors, he created the shadows and definitions of the shape, allowing them to almost seamlessly blend into one another. Now, this looks very typical of what we know of Cubism today, but at the time it was a great departure from the conservative artworks he had been producing in his studies. In 1919, Matulka returned to Europe for the first time, spending 6 weeks in Paris. Paris was the arts and culture capital of the world, and artists in the city were quickly ushering in a new type of art that was described as the avant-garde. Matulka participated and visited in exhibitions of avant-garde artworks and engaged with other artists within the city. For the next 14 years, he would split his time between his home in New York and his studio in Paris. The drawing you see here on the right was done by Matulka in 1921 while living in Paris. Here, he's depicting the legendary cabaret venue, the Moulin Rouge, which was in his neighborhood of Montparnasse. In this drawing, he is again using a cubist approach. Here he uses sharp angles and contrasting shades to define the image. However, we can still make out the iconic Moulin Rouge building. One of the most influential aspects of Matulka's life was his time as a teacher at the Art Students League of New York. In 1929, on the recommendation of fellow modernist Max Weber, he became the only modernist instructor at the Art Students League. And although his time there was short, only 2 years, Matulka was able to introduce his students to modern art, many for the first time. In his classroom, Matulka used his own artworks to convey the modernist techniques he had studied in Paris. His students included well-known artists such as David Smith, Dorothy Daner, Burgoyne Diller, and George L.K. Morris, who's also in this exhibition. These artists would form the basis of the first generation of modern American artists, and they all credit Jan Matulka as the one who introduced them to these avant-garde ideas. Years later, Matulka and George L.K. Morris would again come together, though not as instructor and student, and would help form the first official group of abstract artists in New York City called the American Abstract Artists. The group was dedicated to exhibiting and promoting this new art form within the United States. By the mid-1940s, Jan Matulka was participating less and less in the social aspect of the art world, and eventually he would stop participating altogether, secluding himself in his apartment with his wife. This is one of the reasons why he's not more well-known today. While his contemporaries were solidifying their place in the canon of art history, Matulka had withdrawn himself. But despite this, he still continued to create and experiment with modern forms, such as this abstract painting we see here that was not seen until after his death. Here we can see Matulka's continued exploration into modernism and abstraction, and although it's not completely abstract, Matulka still includes recognizable forms such as the human figure. In 1972, Jan Matulka died, and his position as an influential modern artist was forgotten. This exhibition's purpose is to bring that back out and to reinforce Matulka's importance in the dissemination and practice of modern art in the United States. In addition to the exhibition, I created an online exhibition catalog with even more information on the life and works of Jan Matulka. You can access this on our exhibition page of our website. Well, that is just a slight glimpse at this exhibition. Thank you for joining me, and please don't forget to visit the exhibition on view at the FIA until September 6th, 2020. Thank you.